Well, we brought you plenty of stories out of Stockton in the past that show just how dangerous the streets there can be.
And they're especially dangerous for kids. Between 2011 and 2015, 21 kids committed murder. 116 committed assault with a deadly weapon. These chilling statistics from Stockton's police department illustrate how violence has taken hold for generations. Tonight in a Fox 40 special report, Simone De Alba shows us how a community is coming together to help its most vulnerable.
Amidst crime scene tape and sirens, a green backpack and a bicycle lie scattered on the asphalt. Jessica Sewell couldn't see the boy's body.
It was broad daylight. It's 4:30 in the afternoon.
But she knew it was her son. The green backpack, the only confirmation she needed.
And I called them Ninja Turtle backpacks because they were just that bright green. And I could pick them out of the crowd anywhere. That's why I bought them.
Juwan Small was gunned down in Stockton in December. He was just 17 years old. For his mother, Jessica, the pain is still raw.
He was lovable. He was the kind of kid that you love, you got to know. He was fun. You know, he had a ton of friends. Who would do this? That's all kept playing in my mind. Who? Why?
Questions that haunt her. Juwan's killer hasn't been found.
We wanted to rewrite the future of Stockton. We felt this is our contribution.
For longtime resident Sammy Nunez, Stockton is now home to an alarming trend.
I feel as though our young folks are feeling neglected, they're feeling abandoned, and they feel hopeless.
He says the violence seen today is symptomatic of a larger problem.
When we start looking at 13-year-olds stealing cars or like 15-year-olds being murdered, that's a reflection of us. That's an indictment of us as a society.
Nunez is no stranger to the streets. He's a reformed gang member, convicted on charges of attempted murder nearly 20 years ago. But Nunez has worked hard to turn his life around. He's the executive director of Fathers and Families of San Joaquin.
We had a lot of broken men. A lot of men who had gone through traumatic experiences and their spirit was broken. I don't mean they were broken, their spirit was broken.
Nunez believes the problem is rooted in what he calls a severe lack of positive male role models.
So we know that young people have less self-restraint, right? They're very impulsive, they're emotional. And when you combine that with trauma and abstract extreme poverty, that creates the perfect storm for crime to blossom.
But slowly, change is happening.
I wanted to be a firefighter.
For teenagers Johnny Barrios and Micah Vassar, the violence plaguing their city is nothing new.
I was at the park playing basketball, sitting down.
At the age of 13, Micah says he witnessed a murder.
And this dude walked up out of nowhere and then shot somebody. And then everybody just ran. And then the dude was just laying there, dying.
With help from the program, Fathers and Families, these two are doing their best to keep their lives on the straight and narrow.
A lot of violence, a lot of poverty, people really just don't have a dollar, so they're going to commit violence to try to get a dollar.
All around them, reminders of what could happen if the appeal of street life becomes too alluring.
Once you're incarcerated, you're just like, what's the point now? I already got in trouble, and now everybody's just going to look at me as a troublemaker.
Stockton's Police Chief Eric Jones and his department are tackling the violence head-on, but he believes a solution is multifaceted.
We've got gun violence specifically related to gangs often that goes back decades.
He says for some, the violence is generational, cultural, and simply a survival mechanism. YMCA and Reinvent South Stockton partnering to help fight the problem.
Okay, go run through it, Alessi. Go, go, go.
Maria Montez says it's organizations like these that are giving kids an opportunity to stay out of the streets.
Keeping kids out of crime is giving them a safe environment where they can explore their creative sides.
She says she's seen many of her friends turn to gang life.
Seeing people sell drugs, do drugs, and just the shootings that are happening, having many students actually that are still in high school get murdered because of the crime that's going on in Stockton.
Stockton police say community outreach is going to be one of the biggest catalysts for change, and that begins in the home.
So it brings us together. If we have a singular message, then we can start to be more deliberate and decisive in how we're going to send that message out to the community and make a difference.
For mothers like Jessica, who have lost a child to street violence, her life has taken on new meaning.
Justice not going to give me grandkids. Justice not going to let me see him turn 30.
Her son's memory, the driving force behind her desire for change.
You take your household back. and get to know your kids. Tell your kids that they are loved. Tell them that they're beautiful. If they're a young lady, young man, you're handsome. You're smart. You can do whatever you want to do.
A message so many in this community are tirelessly working on to take back their kids from the streets of Stockton.
He's gone.
For Fox 40 News, Simone De Alba.
And Chief Jones says positive change is being seen, and with the help of people like Jessica and Sammy Nunez, Stockton is beginning to change this culture of violence.